I wanted to take just a few minutes to update you on where we are as a church with COVID as we enter into the autumn. Recently, we've taken time to chat with some of the church family who are really wanting to connect with us but have been struggling. And with this in mind, we've decided to review and adjust some of our safety measures in response to this feedback, and also some of the latest guidance from the Church of England. Now, I'm aware that there's a wide range of feeling about risk, both to ourselves and to others. And whilst the majority of us have some immunity because of the national vaccination programme, there are still many people who continue to be vulnerable. And so I've been asking myself, what should our response be as a church? What is the most loving, Christ-like response to take as we go forward at this point? And within the church, we believe that everyone is known and loved individually by God, and that as many members within one body, we are called to be responsible to and for one another, respecting the more vulnerable among us. Paul, when he writes in 1 Corinthians, says, look, if one part suffers, every part suffers with it. And we want to ensure that our Sunday gatherings are available to as many people as possible within the church family. And so, having taken the time to chat more widely with some of you who are struggling, we wanted to introduce a few more extra safety measures starting from next week. And this is partly because as autumn and winter sets in, we're seeing that the number of positive COVID cases are on the rise. And this increase is no surprise, it was predicted. But currently, it's fair to say that the number of local cases in Wiltshire have increased. And of course, this is the time of year when colds and viruses tend to be on the rise. So first of all, please can I encourage you, whenever you're in one of the church buildings, please use the hand sanitizers whenever you visit, whenever you're in the building. And whilst it's no longer a legal requirement to wear a face covering, the general government advice recommends wearing face masks in larger gatherings. And so we want to strike the right balance with this. So we're encouraging the use of face masks when moving around the main church, and when you enter and leave any of the church buildings, and especially when taking our children to their groups. We're going to ask adults to wear your face masks when you do that. And when you're seated in church, of course, wearing a face mask is optional. And we recognise actually that to participate in sung worship is core to our identity as Christians and part of the reason that we're gathering to meet together. So over the next few weeks, we're going to introduce a designated area at the back of church for those who would prefer to wear your mask at all times, and with more socially distanced seating as well. So this space is especially helpful for those who remain a little bit anxious or perhaps you're clinically more vulnerable. And it's worth bearing in mind that our evening gathering on Sunday at 6 p.m. is much smaller in terms of the numbers, and so that might be a better Sunday event to come along to rather than the larger morning gathering. But when you are at the morning gathering, you can also take a card when you come in, which basically reserves the seat next to you so that no one will sit in it, so that you have more space if you prefer that. We've been looking at the moment when to introduce some of the things we used to do in church, and we've taken the decision at the moment not to reintroduce communion in our Sunday morning gatherings, but we will keep reviewing this. And in the future, we're hoping to serve coffee when you come into church, and we'll tell you more about the new way we're going to do that in a few weeks' time. As it gets colder, we're going to need to wrap up and be warmer because church will be a little bit colder because we're going to maintain good ventilation. But the beauty of our church building is that it's designed for larger gatherings anyway, with lots of space. So it means that the main church space is safe for quite a few people to gather together. And like I said at the beginning, there's a wide range of feeling about risk, both to ourselves and to others. But we're introducing these additional measures with the intention of making church as safe as possible for as many of you as possible, because we believe that it is the most loving and responsible thing that we can do as a church family this winter.